What's up, North County? Welcome to the Morning Brew, Thursday morning, and we have a special guest here. It took me months and weeks and years to get him in here. We have Floyd King with Paso Robles Ford with us this morning. Guest hosting, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Randy.
Yeah, man,
Thank
finally.
You. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit of stage fright, but I made it.
Oh man, it's going to be so easy. It's funny because Terry Banish with the City of Atascadero, she was the same way. She called me the day before she first came on. And she was just like, kind of same way, like panicking. Video. It's like, Terry, I said, you're on the radio all the time.
Right.
And she's like, that's different. This is video. And from that point on, it's been like, that was easy. But you'll be fine.
This is a nice setup.
Yeah.
Comfortable. So we'll get through it.
Well, good. I want you back.
Yes.
I want you back, man.
I will be back.
So Floyd, tell me, you're with Paso Robles Ford. Okay.
North County for born and raised in the North County, worked for Ford Motor Company for 37 years.
Wow.
And been at Paso Robles Ford for almost 18 years as of April.
Wow, man. Congratulations, man.
It's been a great career and a great industry, and I love it.
And you graduated, what did you say, from Templeton?
Templeton in 1983.
What?
Yes,
wow.
sir.
Oh my gosh,
I'm an old guy.
Man, you're about 40 years older than me.
Don't remind me. Some mornings I feel like I'm 40 years older than
right?
most of the guys.
Man, it's like, come on, I need that sun to come out because it's warmer. It feels better when I wake up when it's warmer than it's cold.
This getting old is not for sissies.
Right?
Yes,
for
sir.
Sure. So how did you get into this industry? I mean, I know you have a love for cars.
My dad was a county sheriff, and he worked with Fred Flum in Atascadero at an Exxon gas station, and I started working on the weekends at the gas station, found a love for cars, and it's all history from there.
Wow, that's crazy. And you've been with the Ford industry for 37 years.
37 years, be 38 years in April.
And you run the parts department.
Run the parts department, been managing for probably close to 23 of those 38 years.
Wow.
Before that, I worked a counter, handled all of the body shops, the mechanical shops, that type of stuff. A lot of the wholesale business is what they call it.
And do you have that, like, I know you're Ford guy. You're a Ford guy, right? For the most part, right?
Yes, sir.
But you ever get that Ford Chevy, knocking heads with the Chevy people?
Not really, because I've owned a GMC myself.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good cars out there. We do talk trash to each other.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I do bleed blue, and I'll probably bleed blue until I die.
That's crazy. It's such a transition from 37 years ago, to now.
Oh.
I mean, we were just talking about that before, we came on air. 37 years ago, trucks, what, 10 grand maybe?
Oh yeah, you could buy
15 grand?
You could buy a strippy F-150 for probably $6,500.
Wow.
And now, $100,000 is your average price of a truck.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
Isn't that wild? And what do you think? What do you think it contributes to that cost?
Well, when you start getting $20 an hour minimum wage, when the UAW wants $88 an hour to build a vehicle, they've got to pass the savings on to the consumer. And unfortunately, that's where we are with automobiles. That's where we are with a dozen eggs, the price of bacon.
It's just crazy.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy. But I feel, and I think I read something over the year about trucks, and over the years, in the last maybe 10 years or so, the bed is getting shorter.
Yes.
For the purpose of people want a truck, but they don't need a truck. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they want the truck look, but they want to have that extra little space in the back. So that's why you see, like say on the F-150, the half tons, you see the beds starting to get shorter. Do you feel that's to be true?
Yes, I'm going to say probably about 40% of the vehicles registered in our area are trucks. Most people use the trucks as a car. So, to travel the kids around, you don't need an 8-foot bed. So they've compacted it down to a 5.5-foot bed. So it's more of a car versus a truck. But it's perfect for the family.
Now, didn't the F-150s a few years back also have a smaller bed because they had that little flip out rack or something like that, so things wouldn't slide out the tailgate?
Yeah, they made a bed extender so you could actually make your bed like a 6.5 foot bed versus a 5.5 foot bed.
Gotcha. Wow, Floyd, that's pretty interesting, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just, over the years, through COVID, you guys had 1 billion, vehicles that you couldn't even do anything with because of the chip. Tell me about that. I don't really understand 100% what happened there.
Well, whenever COVID hit, because the microchip factory, you got hundreds of people on top of each other, they stopped manufacturing the chips because of COVID.
And the chip does what? What does the chip do?
Well, microchips, you've got printed circuit boards that operate all your electronics, and most of these cars nowadays have 3 times the electronics they did 20 years ago. So the microchips were not able to be put into the electronics to complete the build of the vehicle.
Huh.
So like your seatbelt dinger uses a microchip. Your headlights uses a microchip. So they were short on microchips, so they couldn't build the vehicles.
So they just sat there. Vehicles were ready to rock and roll. They just needed the $10 part.
They needed a microchip, and the microchip was holding up production.
And is that still, are you still getting like vehicles coming in during that delay, or has that all been kind of washed out?
No, it's all pretty much been resolved. What Ford did for a while is they were shipping us vehicles with no microchips. And then as the microchips came available, they FedExed us the microchips, and then we installed them in our shop and then put the car on the lot for resale.
Huh. Wow, that's crazy. I like I said, I didn't really understand exactly what was going on, and it was like, you see the pictures, of all the vehicles at the Ford, production spot, and thousands of them with nothing, and then you see, Paso Robles Ford empty.
Oh yeah,
with no vehicles.
It was a.
Wasn't that a wild time?
It was a wild time, and we made it through it, and we were strong. But going into work with doors locked, unlocking doors when people wanted to come in, because you had to keep the 6 feet distance away. We fought with the county and with the state to be an essential business because we take care of emergency response vehicles. So we were able to keep our doors open during COVID. Otherwise, they wanted to shut us down.
Huh. I just looked back on that. I actually looked back on my whole life going, we are during, the computer era, right? Back when we were in school, we never used computers. We had a, fish thing that you'd sit there and scan through and try to find stuff on this little weird, transparent, thing that you'd stick in there, the microfiche, right?
Right.
And then you went into computers and dial-up. You'd sit there and listen to that eerie sound of, this squeaking trying to get on there.
Right.
You try to, download anything. It would take you, 5 minutes to now. Cell phones. Remember cell phones back in the day? They
were a brick.
They're a brick or a bag or something like that. And now, you pretty much everybody uses their cell phone for everything. Your camera, your video, your email. I mean, your cell phone is what it is. I remember years ago when I was doing cell phones at Pete Johnston's, my brother-in-law, it was like right when like the text messaging was kind of, coming on board and people were texting, and he's like, so I can send something from my phone and go to your phone? How does that happen? I'm like, I have no idea. But it was just the technology.
Oh yeah.
To where we're like in Star Wars. We're like, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me, and they disperse.
Remember we had the pagers for a while.
Yeah. Funny story is when I had my cell phone stores, I was coaching my daughter's softball team, and it was like kind of like the end of the pagers, cell phones were kind of coming out. And they're like, what are these? Is this a phone? How do you talk on this? And they're pagers. I'm like, no, they're a pager. Like a pager. What's a pager? You text in your number, tell you to call somebody. Why would you do that? I don't know. But it was just a crazy time.
It was a crazy time.
It was crazy, man. Just growing up around here, and I wouldn't have done it any other way. I don't think.
Nope. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that we live in like this weird, and I know you do the same. When you go out of state, you're like, I'm from California, but where I'm from isn't necessarily California.
This is true paradise.
Right.
You know, where can you live that you drive 20 miles to the coast, 150 miles to the snow, and it's paradise.
Yeah. And I think everybody here is genuinely awesome. You know, business is business. You know, business people, like to, they like to support, business people. You know, locals like to support locals. We have a plethora of restaurants and just places to go. If you never left the North County, you would still have plenty to do.
Oh, exactly.
Crazy. But like I said, we're gonna deep dive into the Ford stuff when you come in, by yourself, about Ford specific. But I do want to find out. So there's a story right now which is for Ford investors. So despite the current doom and gloom surrounding the EV industry, Ford made a smart move for investors. So they are coming out with a more cost-effective or low-cost EV vehicle.
Yes.
Right. So tell me about that.
What Ford is going to do is they're in the process of bringing the Mach-E and the Ford Lightning about $12,000 to $15,000 cheaper than it was previously. And the reason they're doing that is because they want to be competitive with the other market. Also, what Ford has done is as of the beginning of March, you can now charge your Ford EV at any Tesla supercharger. So if you have previously purchased a Ford EV, new or used, you go to Ford.com, fill out the paperwork, they will send you a free adapter so that you can charge your vehicle at a Tesla charging station. That is going to keep people from getting into panic mode when you're driving your vehicle, because Ford Motor Company, they did not, their charger was standalone charger, so we couldn't use a Tesla charger. So you're driving to Bakersfield and you've only got 10% of your battery left. You get on your phone, a Ford charger may be 100 miles away. Tesla chargers are everywhere. So them jumping in bed with Tesla is increasing the stock values, and it's going to be great.
Have you ever heard any horror stories of people that get into that predicament to where, they've got, would you say, 10% left, but they still have 100 miles to go? They're not going to make. What happened? What do they do?
I've been in that predicament myself.
Have you?
I drove a Mustang Mach-E as a demo for 3 months, and it was fully charged at my house, had 232 miles till empty, and I deal with this little meat market in Buttonwillow.
Okay, really? Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to talk about that too after commercial.
I deal with this little meat market in Buttonwillow that sells Harris Ranch beef. I drove over there, and when I got there, it's 80 miles from my house. I got there, and I had used like 130 miles of power. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on here? And, I am very organized, and I don't like surprises. And my wife stayed home, and I'm thinking, why is this thing only, I went 120 miles, and I really should have only went 80. So I get back in the car and start heading home, and about Shandon, I got 4% battery left.
Oh, no.
So I made it home, but what people don't realize, you turn your radio on, you turn your air conditioner on, every time you use your blinkers, that's using power from that battery as well. So range anxiety is there, and it is true. But now that they have you can use the Tesla charging stations, pull in 20 minutes, you can go from 0 to 70%.
Is that what the charge time is?
That's what a supercharged time is, yes.
Are they all supercharged?
No, Tesla probably has about 30% of their chargers are superchargers. But even if it's not a supercharger, you can still charge about 1% per minute. So you can sit there for 20 minutes and get 20% and drive 80 miles.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
I could never, the electric vehicles, great performance, great engineering, but until the range gets higher, I could never change my lifestyle to be an electric car fan.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to jump in my car and go to Bakersfield.
Or go to the gas station and then go to Bakersfield.
You can go to the gas station and fill up with 20 gallons in 3 minutes.
Right.
So, you know, I like the smell of fuel. I like to hear my engine run. And that's why I choose, you know, gasoline vehicles.
Yeah, I just don't get that. And, you know, and then, you know, what do you do while you're sitting there waiting if you're in a hurry, you know? I mean,
Exactly.
it's just such a bizarre, I don't know. I just, you know, when I get like my cell phone, when my cell phone dies, I freak out because
yeah.
it's like, can you imagine with your car?
Yeah.
You lose your mind.
With your wife and 3 kids in the back.
Right? Yeah. And then, you know, people putting their stereos in, you know, their high performance, you know, amplifiers and stuff like that. That's a big draw. You know, you sit there and try to listen to your stereo on the weekend, you know, for an hour in your truck with your, you know, 3 900,000 watt amps, you know, your battery's dead in, you know, an hour.
Right.
So,
right.
Man, that's crazy. That's such a crazy, it's such a crazy industry to think, because everything's going electric. You got your weed whackers, you got your, you know, the whole California thing is like pushing this whole electric.
That's right. It's California. But, you know, we can't turn on our air conditioners in the summertime without having a rolling blackout. What's going to happen when you have 13 million residents that are being forced to have electric cars plug in from 5 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock at night? We're going to have serious problems. You know, the power grid and the infrastructure can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's a great concept, but it still needs work.
We got a little bit of a taste of that during COVID. You know, when, you know, as far as like when the seclusion happened, you know, you couldn't go out and do anything.
Exactly.
You know, which I'll be honest, I enjoyed the hell out of that. I had a great time during COVID. You know, when the whole world shut down and nothing was going on. It was just it's like I operated in my own little world and my own little people. We spent a ton of time out at Heritage, you know, out at the lake, you know, when nobody else could. And I mean, a little part of me is like, man, I want to go back to that, you know, just because it was so simple.
That's what we did. A lot of barbecues.
Totally.
A lot of family time, you know, meetings or movies, family meetings, just, you know, spending time together.
Yeah. Just congregating around with your own people, your own thing, doing your own thing, you know, having cocktails, having meaningful conversations. Right. You know, and just scratching your head going, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, no, it was a crazy time. It was
Are we at the end, or, you know, it was such a wild and crazy experience. And then, I mean, it still is.
And the world is still crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every day you hear something or see something that you can't believe.
Yeah. I stopped that whole process in my head that goes, no way.
I don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it baffles me with some of the things I hear and some of the things I see.
Yeah. It gets fire underneath you a little bit.
Yes, it does.
Because sometimes when you think of what somebody's saying or somebody doing or you know, a lawsuit that's going through and you're going, what? I mean, like, common sense left a long time ago.
Yes, it did.
You know, and I think, you know, the accountability factor has left a long time ago as well. Everybody blames everybody else.
Yes.
You know, and nobody takes accountability. And I think that's why I like you so much, because you take accountability for, you know, if you did something wrong, hey, I did it.
Right.
Instead of saying, oh, no, it was, you know, that guy's, you know, issue.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what gravitate a lot of people together, is because of the same, you know, type of morals and accountability that you know, like what we were talking about before with, you know, rough and gruff and, you know, to the point in people's personalities. And, you know, those are kind of going away too, you know, but,
all right, we have Lori Bryant on the phone.
All right, well, cool. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll be back. We'll have Slow County News with Lori Bryant. She's not going to be on camera today because she super loved that, but she's going to be calling in and telling us about what's happening in the North County. So we will be right back to the Morning Brew.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. And we got our guest today, our guest host. We have Floyd King with Pastoral Olds Ford with us. So stoked that he's in. But right now we have SLO County News on us. SLO County News with us, Lori Bryant, and she's going to fill us in what's happening here in the North County. Lori, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So there is a trailer became detached on the grade. Be aware of that northbound, and it is causing a bit of a traffic backup. We also have a structure fire in San Luis. It looks like they've got that under control. And there's a collision on near Price Street in Pismo, 101 again. So be aware that there is some traffic stuff going on. There were some cows out on 58, and hopefully they've got them back in. But the deer are coming down as well. We had a deer accident this morning, so be aware of that as well. And for today, today is the 7-year anniversary of Slow Stringer's passing away. So keep that in your thoughts. He's who inspired our page. He was a true angel, and yeah, it's kind of a sad day for all of us. And that's pretty much it right now. Paso did have a little incident at St. Rose Catholic School yesterday where a student had made some statements that were concerning. The police went in and took care of it, and there was no injuries or anything like that at all whatsoever.
Wow. Sounds like the weather's bringing out all the stuff that's happening here in the North County.
Yeah, this morning a little bit, yes. Hopefully this will slow down. I mean, hopefully it's just, you know, that poor guy that was hauling the trailer, that not a good thing to get that detached this early.
No, it ruins
especially on the grade.
Right? Definitely ruins your day.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have for this morning. It's going to be another gorgeous day today. I guess we're still looking at possibility of rain a bit tomorrow, but not too bad. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Well, right on, Lori. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate your group there that basically fills us in on what's happening in the North County and around. And, you know, you guys do a great job doing that. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate you calling in and telling us all about it.
Yeah. And please, if you're just take a moment to think about Slow Stringer today.
Absolutely.
We'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. You guys have a beautiful day.
All right, Lori. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Lori Bryant, SLO County News, 30,000+ followers on their page. So they're doing really good. And Slow Stringer, you remember Slow Stringer?
Yes, I do.
That was like even the news was not digging him because he was the first on the scene.
Yes, he was very aggressive and very quick and very informative.
Very informative. You know,
Yes.
way more informative than even the news, you know, the spokespeople, the announcers, everybody.
Exactly, yeah.
And he would be on, like I said, on the scene of those at all kinds of hours.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't just an 8 to 5 deal. It was, you know, the middle of the night. It was during, you know, the most chaotic storms and stuff like that. And he was doing it. So that was definitely tragic. But these guys on SLO County News, they do a really, really good job everywhere. You know, not just the North County, San Luis County, the South County, the coast. I mean, they're all over the place. So at 30,000 followers, they're doing something right.
That's amazing.
So speaking of law enforcement stuff, so St. Patrick's Day, did you go out for St. Patrick's Day? Do you do that 5 o'clock in the morning thing?
No, sir. I'm a little too old for that.
Did you ever in the past?
I have to say no. I really never, fell into the celebration of green beer and that type of stuff.
Or getting up at 4
Or
o'clock in
getting
the
up
morning
at
and
4
going
o'clock
to
in
the
the
bar?
morning, going to the bar, or eating corned beef and cabbage.
I do like that.
Yeah.
You don't even eat that?
I had tri-tip and baked beans and potatoes, and that was my St. Patrick's Day dinner.
Nice. I will say I do like the corned beef and cabbage. I stumbled onto that like probably 8 years ago. And I didn't have any this year actually, but I like salt. I'm a salt person. So it's obviously the corned beef is very salty.
Right.
But with the cabbage and the potatoes and just the soup and it's a great, and then I've had, the brown and tans, which is a Guinness and a brown. I can't remember what that is, but it's a brown and tan beer. It's an
Right,
Irish,
right.
you know, whatever. And that's
Right.
actually really good. It tastes like a milkshake.
Right.
So I do dig that, but I never got into the whole getting up at 5 o'clock,
No.
4 o'clock.
No.
My daughter did that this year, you know, and they were at
Pappy McGregor's?
at Pappy's at 5 o'clock in the morning this year. So I haven't heard and haven't talked to her since then as far as like how the atmosphere was, but
Right.
there were some pictures that somebody posted the next day that showed people down in downtown Paso Robles. It was nuts at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I actually went downtown about 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and it was rather packed and crazy down there.
Wow. Well, I've got some recap of what has happened in the county on St. Patrick's Day weekend. So we've got the department provides details on citations and arrests made during the 3-day period. Fines were doubled during, you know, for noise violations, unruly gatherings, you know, open containers and whatnot. So they provided 18 noise citations. They had 5 unruly gatherings. They had 99 plus open containers. They had 5 drunken publics. They had 24 minor in possessions. They had 4 climbing utility poles. And they had 3 DUIs. And evidently ABC was out in force too.
You know, from what I've seen on the news, there was roughly 6,000 to 7,000 people within a few block area of San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
So with that many people out on the streets, those statistics are actually pretty low.
This was just Paso.
That was just Paso.
Yeah, this
Okay.
was. So what happened down in San Luis was a complete. I mean, that was chaos.
It was chaos.
So you remember a few years back that when they were all on top of that house?
Yes.
And it collapsed.
Yeah.
So this year it got crazy down there. They were prepared for it, but it was just too many people, too short a time, and they just were overtaken. And I think all kinds of damage happened as well. Cars, houses, you know, telephone poles.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy place.
Crazy.
It's such a crazy place. I can't believe that. I mean, we'll remember Poly Royal.
Oh, yeah.
So Poly Royal was another crazy time that they shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think, you know, they're kind of bringing it back, not really bringing it back in that scale, but they still have the Poly Royal, the rodeo, the 3-day concert, but not all the festivities and everything the week before.
Right.
Because that's where it all drawed. People came to San Luis for Poly Royal, which was a whole week party fest. And then on the weekend they had the rodeo and they had all kinds of stuff going on. So,
But you know, it is a college town, so it's to be expected somewhat.
Oh, totally. And I think a lot of that lands back on the parents. You know, lands back on the parents. You know, to where, you know, they're sending their kids. Like I had a customer. This was a couple years back, and they would go dumpster diving at Cal Poly after everybody moved out.
Oh yeah.
Because these guys would come in and these kids would leave everything. I mean, and we're talking computers, iPads, you know, like $200 pair of jeans. I mean, they would just leave all their stuff behind, and you know, campus whatever clean out their dorms, clean out their stuff, and they'd throw all the stuff away. But they would go dumpster diving and find iPhones and iPads and, you know, brand new laptops that it's just a waste to them.
They didn't want to take it back home. They just left it there.
Yeah, it's wild. And then I started thinking to myself, going, that's a great place to go. And she said that they go, her and her daughter would go all the time when the students move out that week or 2 weeks afterwards when they're starting to clean all their dorms out. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
But
very wild.
that's the thing is now, you know, you have these kids that are coming into town. They have no, you know, it's just like, here you go. Here's a credit card. Here's, you know, go have fun and, you know, do whatever. But they're
not being taught any supervision or any responsibility, basically. You know,
Right.
They're just, mom and dad's giving them all the money they need. So they party and go to school, and that's all they want to do.
Yeah. Or not even go to school. Maybe it's just the party part of
That's
it.
true.
So-
That's true.
Hey, so we've got, did you ever go out to California Valley last year and to this Super Bloom?
Randy, I have been here since 1965, and I have never been to California Valley.
Really?
Never been to California Valley.
Oh my gosh. Well, don't get in your electric car and go out because you might not make it back. But you got to check it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's. I went out there years and years ago, but I haven't been out there in probably 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But back when I went out there, it was kind of there was a store, there was a restaurant, there was a I think there was a feed and grain, like a granary for the farmers out there, and then there was a local community center. And I think that's kind of all kind of dried up a little bit. There's still people that live out there,
Right.
but it's such a cool like you kind of just drive in and it's like the West. It's like no growth, no big buildings, just
Tumbleweeds going everywhere.
yeah. It's really just like taking a step back into time and like seeing the way that it used to be. Before technology got in our
Right,
ways.
right.
So
Yeah, I've
but-
never been there.
well, you should do yourself a favor and check it out.
Yeah.
Take
I
it
will.
out there. But the Super Bloom is coming back. So we had this mega Super Bloom last year, and I saw colors of yellow, blue, green, purple. But there is hope for another brilliant Super Bloom following a wet winter. So executive director of the nonprofit says that the Super Bloom was already off to a lovely start in parts of Southern California. California will soon be decorated with a rainbow of wildflowers after drenching winter rain set the stage for a spectacular spring. So the Super Bloom has no extract criteria, but you're going to start seeing your mountains, even going out 46 out towards Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing. And I don't know if that's part of the mega Super Bloom that's out in California Valley.
Right.
But it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, we went to Cambria for lunch a couple weeks ago, and it was beautiful going over in that area.
Yeah.
All of the hills and the greenery.
And the colors are just it's just so vivid.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it's not just the yellow, like that picture was mostly yellow, but I mean there's greens.
Oh, yeah.
There's like purples.
Orange poppies.
Yeah, it's just is picking poppies still illegal in California? Remember
I-
that when you were a kid? Don't pick those, you'll go to jail.
Exactly. I remember my mother hearing me or telling me that several times. But I don't know. I think it is because it's a state flower.
I would think that, based on crazy stuff that happens in you probably would go to jail for picking a poppy.
Yeah.
They're, dude, oh boy, you're going to jail for picking that.
You don't go to jail for car theft, but you'll go to jail for picking a poppy.
Exactly. I can totally see that happening. All right, so it's about 8:47 right now, so let's take another break, and we'll be right back to the Morning Brew.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. And we got my guest host in here. We got Floyd King with Paso Robles Ford, and he's digging it, right? This
Yes,
is fun,
I am.
huh?
It is fun.
So be honest, is this completely different what you envisioned in your mind?
Yes, it was. I thought it was going to be a very uptight, professional type interview, but I have to say this is upscale, but it's very relaxing.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
you guys are already stressed out at work. We don't want you to come in here and be even more stressed.
Exactly.
You know, we want to de-escalate that. You know,
Exactly.
we want to make you more comfortable and be like, I just want to work from the What's Up North County studios. That's where I want to work from.
Yes.
Just call me. I'll just have my phone right here.
Okay.
So Floyd, so tell me a little bit about Paso. You turned me on to Agape in Paso for breakfast one morning. So I was on my way to Joe's, one-niner diner out there. It was a little further than I wanted to go, but I was like, I know they got great steak and eggs. But then you sent me a text or a post or something like that, and you said, hey, try Agape. And I was like, where in the heck's that? And you're like, underneath Cool Hand Luke's. So I kind of went back, and man, I tell you what, that was a spot on 100% accurate recommendation for good breakfast food.
Well, me and the wife, she works for the City of Paso Robles Police Department, and on the weekends, we really don't do anything, so she gets up in the morning and says, hey, let's go have breakfast. So we try a lot of these little local places, and we ran across Agape, and that's now our to-go place all the time. It was part of the Brothers restaurant.
Brothers Cafe?
Brothers Cafe, and I believe they branched off, and I used to go where Brothers is now, used to be a little Italian place, and we used to go in there and great food. So whenever I seen your post that you wanted good steak and eggs, I had great food at Agape, so there you go.
I got to say, like I said, I didn't know that Oscar was part of that until the second time I went through. And so I went in there based on your recommendation. I went there and I had amazing sirloin steak. You cooked like perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect. And these eggs, were awesome as well. The service was amazing. And the coffee, I don't know what kind of coffee they use, but that was amazing too. So like I said, the whole experience was really bitchin', and it wasn't any more expensive than I would go anywhere else, right? It's actually less than I anticipated, right? And so the next time I went in there, or actually, no, I take that back. Somebody texted me and said, or Oscar texted me, or messaged on the thread, and he said that he was a part of it. So I went in there the next time, and I, saw him. I knew him from Brothers Cafe, and so he's over there, which he is at Paso Robles, Touch of Paso. And then you said at Margie's Diner, right?
Margie's Diner.
And so now he's, spearheading the fryers and the cooking in the back at Agape.
Yeah, it's a great family-oriented business, great service, good portions at a great price, and that's what we strive to find when the wife and I go out to breakfast is, you find these little posts on Instagram or Facebook, and that's what we use as a guide to go have breakfast.
What are some of your other favorites? I'd like to know where else I should be setting my sights on.
Well, we like Agape. We like Spring Street Cafe there in Paso Robles. Margie's Diners.
Okay, so Spring Street Cafe, that's across from
the funeral home. And JJ's Market there.
Okay.
The little place that used to have all the little
right next
umbrellas.
to the donut shop.
Down the street. It's a little house kind of by the old parts barn. Where the old parts house used to be.
Huh. Okay. I can't.
It's a small little house with a picket fence around it. Great food, family owned.
Okay.
Great breakfast. There's also one down on Riverside, next to the Army Recruiting Center.
That's Sunrise.
Sunrise.
Okay.
And it's excellent food as well.
Okay. So I heard that one is really good. That used to be down there by where the parcels where they would send out packages.
Yes.
It's like a UPS store, I think.
Yes.
But I heard Sunrise is really good too.
Yes.
So Sunrise, Agape, Spring Street.
Spring Street.
What else? You mentioned Margie's.
Margie's Diner. And then, on Wednesdays, all of us managers and our boss, we go out to lunch. So we pretty much know all of the good lunch spots in the North County as well.
All right, well, tell me. This is where
we
we're at.
usually do sushi at I think it's Goshi's over by the train station. We love sushi.
I love sushi.
Agape is now one of our stops because they have a great huevos rancheros for lunch. And we do Paso Robles Inn because they do top sirloin and French fries, and that's pretty good for lunch. And then we also like Taste in Paso Robles.
Yeah,
the small portion type thing.
I like that place.
So
and you get a good amount. I mean, you think that it's not going to be enough?
No,
because I'm an eater.
It's perfect. Me too. You
know,
can tell.
I'm an eater, and I was worried the very first time
Right.
that they're like, I see people like getting their stuff and I'm like that much? I'm going to starve to death and I'm going to still spend $30, but it's a good portion
No,
of
it
food.
is. Yes.
And delicious. Brussels sprouts
Oh,
are
the Brussels
amazing.
sprouts are amazing. The macaroni and cheese is amazing.
I know. Gosh, you're making me hungry. So those are good ones too. So
Yes.
and I think really anything around like have you ever been to Odyssey? Odyssey is across the street from Street Side.
No, I have not.
So they're more of a what do you call that? When you walk in, it's like well, I haven't been there in several years, but when you walk in, it was more of like that. What do you call that? Like restaurant style where everybody sits at the table and you're kind of
Oh, I know what you're saying. It's more like community sitting type
Exactly.
stuff, where you're elbow to elbow with
Yeah.
somebody you may not know.
a Basque or something like that.
Yes, yes.
but
Basque style.
Yeah, it kind of gave me that
Yes.
vibe,
Uh-huh.
because it was like all, just like older tables
Uh-huh.
and, the decorations were like kind of like you're walking into your grandma's house, but it was really good food, and they always, those places like that, they put like raspberry, you have like a raspberry, salmon sandwich of some sort.
Right.
They have all these cool things that you're going,
Right.
ew, but then you end up eating and it's like,
And
man,
it's
this
bomb.
is delicious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What about your dinner? Where's your favorite dinner spot?
My favorite dinner spot is at my house because I can cook a pretty mean ribeye or a pretty mean tomahawk. I love to barbecue. And like I said, I go over to Button Willow and get my meat cut to perfections. And I tell the wife, it's kind of hard to go out and order a steak or food when I can outcook it at my
Right.
house.
Don't you hate that?
Yes.
When you go and you have a meal, your steak dinner's
Mm-hmm.
$70, and it's like I could just roll that, and pick it up off the ground,
Yeah.
and mine would taste better.
So when we go out, we usually do like, we'll crave for hamburgers or something like that. And like I said, a couple weeks ago, we drove over to Main Street Grill in Cambria because they got great hamburgers. Mm-hmm. And we like the Guest House in Atascadero, Jack's in Templeton. They're always spot on. So usually when we go out to dinner, it's more to have a couple cocktails
Right.
than it is to have dinner.
Cocktail first, food second.
Yes, yes. Because
Floyd, I'm totally on that train as well.
if they make an old fashioned,
Yeah.
that's where I go.
Have you ever been out to Parkfield Cafe?
We used to frequent Parkfield Cafe, but I haven't been out there in probably 10 years.
Yeah, that's another favorite for burgers for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a drive to get out there, but the burgers are just phenomenal.
Right.
Creston, you go out to the loading chute,
Well, what's the place next to the loading chute in Creston?
the Long Branch.
Long Branch. They got probably one of the best burgers in the state
agreed.
of California.
Agree. So the Long Branch and the loading chute serve two different purposes. Like, so I don't drink a lot of beer, so the hard alcohol, Long Branch has the hard alcohol, loading chute doesn't,
Has
right?
beer and wine, yeah.
Has the beer and wine. But then the Long Branch, has the amazing, the loading chute has the amazing steaks, that they cook right there in front of you.
Right.
You can get it prepared any way. I think the last time I had what did I have? I had a sirloin, and I asked him to wrap it in bacon, and he wrapped it around, David, which is the owner,
Right.
wrapped it around in bacon, and it just, but both of those places are such cool experiences for
Yes.
food,
Yes.
atmosphere, people. You pretty much run into people that everybody. I'm sure your dinner turns into 3 hours because an hour and a half of that is talking to different people.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's such a cool. That's why I love it here.
That's why I love it here too. It's
You almost moved.
I've made a lot of my customers have become extended family.
Right.
So when we see them in the restaurant, lots of times we'll invite them to come and sit at the table with us.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about this place.
Yeah, and like I said, you always run into somebody that somehow knows you through somebody else,
Exactly.
and then that just becomes
Right.
another conversation and whatnot. So, hey, so I want to announce this. So Atascadero Chamber has announced their People of Community Award, right? community award winners. So the Atascadero Chamber of Commerce awards season upon us. This year, the chamber is honoring 6 individuals and organizations that have made a beautiful impact in Atascadero. Citizen of the Year, Jerry Tanimoto, Coach T.
Okay.
Right? Everybody loves Coach T. We got Lifetime Achievement Award. We got Doug Filipponi. You know,
Doug
Filipponi Thompson.
Filipponi and Thompson Drilling.
Yep. Women of Influence in the North County. We got Wendy Lewis of Echo Shelters.
Okay.
So great people. Business of the Year, which is the Pottery. And you got Hispanic Business of the Year, La Prea Mexican Grill, which is up there. La Prea. Am I saying that right?
That's the one next to Pine Street they just opened, huh?
Yeah. Yes. So
Yes.
they have the one in Atascadero, which is up there by Vaughn's.
Yes.
And then the one over there, but next to Pine Street.
Yes.
Is it Pine Street or is it the Elks Lodge?
I believe it's Pine Street.
Okay.
It's down across from the old Pappy's.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So that one there, and then Community Organization of the Year is ALF, ALF Food Pantry.
Oh, nice.
So Atascadero is doing a lot of stuff as far as on their community involvement, their community outreach, and they have a lot of stuff going on. Like I think they have the Central Coast Craft Beer Show or Craft Beer Weekend coming up.
Yes.
Either this weekend or next weekend.
And you know, Atascadero a couple of weeks ago had something to do, and they had fireworks.
Yeah, they had that was women's that kicked off the
Yes.
Women's Month.
They always seem to do something that draws people to the community and to the city, and
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
you know?
they're talking about now they have an outreach of trying to get somebody to come in to do the lights like Paso did in the downtown park in the Sunken Gardens.
You know, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
The lights in the park in Paso Robles. We went down and did the New Year's Eve thing with a fire. Mm-hmm. That was just such a great experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's made me proud to be part of the North County.
We were down there too, and I was worried that because they're right between trees.
Oh man, it was amazing,
and
wasn't
the
it?
trees were going like this.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, going, if I was in a barbecue situation right now, I would have the hose out because I'm thinking that tree's going to light it
Right.
up, you know, because
Right.
they weren't. I mean, they're dry, you know, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we got down there a little early, and the wife found a place right across from the pathway near the bathrooms. And we set a blanket down, and as soon as the fire started, it was okay. But once the fire started getting bigger, we actually had to back up almost to the street on the sidewalk because the heat was so intense.
That was pretty crazy.
But you know, it was a great community event.
Yeah.
No trouble, no problems.
Right.
And I think they're going to do it again next year.
There were still coals 2 days later, you know, from that bonfire.
Yeah,
Still, they
smoldering.
They didn't clean up for I think probably a week because of the hot ash. And it was cool, you know, the fire department was there, obviously.
Right.
You know, they were kind of manning that whole thing. But you're right, when that thing started like getting, like it was going at its peak, I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
You know, from distances back, not just, you know, just around the perimeter where they put, I mean, you even had to back up out of that stuff right there too. And they had cocktails, they had a band there playing.
Yeah, the band was actually really good too.
They had vendors. There was a ton of people there. I mean, it was pretty cool. Remember last year, it was raining, it was pouring.
Right.
Before and after, and during that period of time, in the bonfire, it's like this. They just shut off the rain.
Right.
And it was able to happen. Not as many people were there last year as there was this year. So. But hey, so I wanted to talk about this one here, which I thought you would be probably interested in, which is this historical Ford truck that has been people are rebuilding it, you know, for a local blacksmith. So this truck belonged to an old blacksmith shop. Local members of the community have recently restructured resurrected an important piece of Paso Robles history. A 1936 Ford truck that belonged to Frederick, and I'm going to screw this name up, Frederick Condent, a blacksmith whose shop was located in the heart of downtown Paso Robles.
You know, I think that's amazing because
this is right up your alley.
Yeah,
huh?
and these older vehicles, it's kind of like land. You know, God's not making any more land.
Right.
We're not making any more of those old vehicles. And those old vehicles is part of America. And when people take the time and the money to restore them, it's just history. And I think, I'm a car guy, and it's great.
Do you go to the car shows when they have them?
My wife hates it, but yes, we do. You've seen that car 300 times. Well, now it's 301 times.
Right? But I mean, so I know there's, like, my father-in-law rebuilt a Camaro, an SS Camaro, and I went and bought it with him when he bought it from Jason Strake, which was racing it down at Santa Maria Speedway, and he restored this thing from ground up, all himself, right? And has pictures, had the pictures of going through. And the amount of time that people that do it themselves, because there's people that pay somebody else to do it, right? And so in my opinion, I would much rather give an award to somebody that's done it all themselves versus spending somebody's money or their own money to have somebody else do it. But the craftsmanship, the paint, the detail, and sometimes of this interior of the like this truck here, in 1936, it's going to have, the interior is going to be night and day from what it was when it was stock.
Right.
But there's so much of the original look, but it's just updated.
Right. It's just technology now. The paints, the materials, it's amazing what they do. And it's just, like you said, if you want to pay somebody to do it, there's no end. But I think it's better, get you and your sons, buy an old vehicle.
Yeah.
Start restoring it in the garage. 30 years from now, when they have children, they can do the same thing.
Right.
Either find something and restore it, or take that vehicle that is now worn out and resurrect it back to whenever Grandpa and Dad used to drive it.
Floyd, think about the vehicles that you've had over the years that you just sold. You're like, just get rid of it. If you had that today, I mean, look at just junk pile step sides from the 70s and 80s.
We could be a millionaire.
Right?
I had a 1970 Chevelle Super Sport that was a true all numbers matching big block factory 4-speed Super Sport. Today, a Barrett Jackson, probably $150,000 car. I rolled it out on Nacimiento Lake Road. Sold the whole car for $800.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the 80s.
Gosh. But who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
I mean, anything from the 80s. I mean, literally anything. I mean, nowadays vintage is on like fire.
Right.
People are going to garage sales. They're vintage stores.
Well, you're not going to have vintage vehicles in the future because they're being made with plastic, all of the electronics. So when they sit in the field and rot, they're going to become part of the earth. They're going to decompose. So like this pickup truck that they're restoring, that's true American history.
Do you like watching that American Pickers when they go into those, hoarders?
Oh, yes.
Isn't it amazing? I don't know if there's much of that out here, but like in the Midwest area.
Oh, there's all kinds of good stuff back there.
Where there's somebody just has 5 acres and it's just 5 acres of
junk.
Well, maybe junk.
Yeah, but
history.
It's their treasure.
Right.
And it's history, and yes.
Trucks and tractors and, it's kind of like that place when you're going over to the valley, over there off the 5. You pass it, which is, this guy has like a tractor boneyard.
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing, but in trucks or cars or somebody else's, treasures, you say.
Just old antiques.
Yeah. And probably just that truck there looks like it's a, ground ornament, it's worth thousands of dollars to somebody.
True.
Wow, it's crazy. Crazy times. Well, it's 9:07, man. This day got away from us. So let's take a break and we'll be right back to the Morning Brew.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Tascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
A Tascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Brew, guys. We appreciate you guys being here. Floyd, I appreciate you coming on. Finally, had fun, right?
I had a great time, Randy.
So
Thank you.
This is something, like I said, this was, pulling teeth to get you in here, but now you're like, hey, sign me up again, huh?
I want to come back.
Right?
Maybe we'll have a beer or a cocktail or...
Absolutely. That's our evening brew segment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the evening brew, and those will start like in June.
Okay.
When it starts getting warmer. So, but
Perfect.
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate your time. And, glad you came on and finally got that experience to come on here with me.
Well, thank you very much. You do great things for the North County, and
I appreciate the business cards.
Yeah.
My old Paso Robles Ford salesman.
Yes, sir.
I never did get salesman of the year. Maybe I can come by there and stick up a sticker.
That's okay, but we just got to let everybody know that you do have car salesman in your blood.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I appreciate it, Floyd. Thanks again, man.
You're welcome.
Hey, guys, also make sure you guys get out there and get your tickets to the Slow Sheriff Rodeo coming up in May. You do not want to miss this. Tickets are going to go fast at $10. Kids under 12 are free. Law enforcement are free, but you still have to get your ticket. And then we also have the Stacy Strong fundraiser coming up in June. June, right, Eric? Yes. In June, that you don't want to miss out there at Hunter Golf Course if you're a golfer. Man, it's a great cause, and hear her story on here. I think we're going to have her doctor on with her next week to talk about her journey. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Custom, Santo Brothers Plumbing, Pacific 805 Spas, Hanson Enterprises, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, and Airflow Filter Services. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations, Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs. From minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs, for the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.